what's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. All right, fellas. Let's get to this week's movie review. We are going to be reviewing Zach Cregger's latest movie, Weapons. And before, I'm going to play spoiler alerts, but before I do, I just want to tell for the listener, if you haven't seen this movie, this is definitely one of those movies you want to watch without knowing anything. It will enhance your movie-going experience. We're going to spoil the shit out of this movie because you really can't talk about this movie without spoiling it. But you can enjoy this movie by knowing nothing and walking in. Okay, does that make sense? Just a little disclaimer.
I know nothing.
I drink and I know nothing.
Yes.
But in the meantime, here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
All right, you've been warned. We're going to dive in. Weapons on the Rotten Tomatoes originally was at 100% score with a couple of reviews. It is now, more reviews have come out, is now at 95%. Still very good. Critics, tomato meter. Audience score, 87%. This movie was made for $38 million and does some good numbers here. It opens at number 1, knocking Fantastic Four to number 3. Opening weekend of $43.5 million. Right? Internationally, it's made $28.3 million. It is sitting at a $71.8 million worldwide total off a $38 million budget.
It's already a success.
It's already paid. It's made his money back and some, and will continue to in 3 days. This is huge for an original R-rated auteur kind of horror movie. So Weapons has given Warner Brothers their 7th number 1 opening of the year. And apparently they just made history as the first studio to have 6 straight $40 million plus openings. And it's Minecraft, Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, F1, Superman, and now Weapons. Warner Brothers is having a hell of a fucking year here.
Yeah, they are.
After lots of misfires at the end of last year, they are killing it and even, taking Disney for a run. Another thing to note about this script, when it first came out, it was in a bidding war, and Warner Brothers New Line won this at auction, beating out Jordan Peele.
Who wrote this movie?
Zach Cregger also. We'll get into that.
Oh.
Jordan Peele was so upset that he let go of his partners that
he split from his management team afterwards. Now, I don't know if the two things are correlated, but you got to imagine he's kicking himself in the ass right now because this would be right up his alley.
It's just so weird that Cregger wrote the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he shopped it, and he's like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And maybe he worked out a deal.
He needs money.
He shopped it to get the money.
He needs somebody to pay for it.
And Paramount decided, Warner Brothers decided to give him, $38 million?
$38 million, which was higher than what everybody else was offering.
So $38 million to do the whole movie.
Yeah.
Including his paycheck.
Yeah. He got $10 million for this movie, which is crazy because Barbarian was made for like $4 million and did so well for him. He gets more money. He gets bigger stars.
It is crazy, though, that his second movie, they decided that they upped his budget 10 times.
Yeah.
It happens. Look at fucking Gareth Evans or whatever. Edwards.
Yeah.
I mean,
he does that movie Monsters that was like a $1 million movie, and then he does Godzilla, $90 million.
It's similar to like Jordan Peele, also kind of his path. So creative, yes. Written, produced, directed, and even co-scored by Zach Cregger, whose first movie was Barbarian. He comes from a comedy background. He came up with the improv group, the Whitest People You Know, something like
Whitest Kids You Know.
Whitest Kids You Know was his improv group. So again, similar to Jordan Peele, comes from a sketch comedy background and starts killing it in horror movies. The movie stars Julia Garner as Justine, the teacher. You have Josh Brolin as Archer, a parent. Alden Ehrenreich plays Paul, a cop with a mustache. You have Carrie Christopher playing Alex Lilly. You have Benedict Wong as the principal, Marcus. And you have, I can't forget to mention, Amy Madigan as Aunt Gladys. And then Austin Abrams as James. And I think those are all the people you really need to know about. This is an R-rated movie, 2 hours and 8 minutes. Anthony,
Yeah.
what happens in Weapons?
I mean, they give you the synopsis on the poster,
And in the trailer, yeah.
But in my own words, Weapons is about a small town where on one night at the same time in the middle of the night, 17 kids from Miss Gandy's class all disappear in the middle of the night and no one knows why. The only person that hasn't disappeared is one child, and the town is in uproar trying to figure out where the hell these kids are, what happened, and we see that all unfold on screen.
Yeah, and the movie actually just starts like a month after this incident.
Yeah. The movie starts with the incident happening.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of see it. You don't really you see it in flashbacks, I guess, or they do show it. Yes,
they do show it.
Right.
Yeah. They show the kids running out.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Anthony. Tell me theater experience and opening thoughts. How'd you feel at the end of this?
Well, I'm going to actually defer on the opening thoughts. I want to hear you guys first, but I will give you my theater experience.
Okay.
I saw this on a Thursday night at the Alamo, and I would say 75% full audience. The people that were there were freaking pumped.
Yeah.
I had two women next to me that were big horror fans, and they were really excited and made the movie going experience that much better because they were screaming at certain things, but then also laughing because they get, and I go, why are you laughing? And they'd say, well, they actually prefaced by saying, we're going to laugh during the movie because that's how we react when we get scared.
Get nervous. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to those women because I did talk about the podcast and say, hey, here's my podcast.
Nice.
They went and said, do you like horror movies? And I go, no. I go, why are you watching this? I go, for the podcast. And so then we went on the whole conversation.
Nice.
So shout out to those two women.
That's how you do it.
They were eating popcorn. One note on the women, I go, you guys just ordered popcorn with no drink. What's going on? They go, well, we brought booze in our popcorn.
Nice.
I got you.
That's what when you carry a bag, you do that shit.
That's not fair.
And then they go, why aren't you drinking? And I go, because I'm going to have to pee during the movie. And tell you what, freaking 45 minutes in, I hear the lady go, I got to pee.
Oh, shit. That's what happens.
And then before the movie's about to end, the same lady goes, I got to pee again.
Oh, my God. You're going to miss so much of the movie, lady. That's what happens.
And that's why I go, wait. That's why I don't drink during the movie. Anyways, a great movie experience. I will say that bar none, I will even put this up there with big Marvel movies.
Oh.
Seeing a horror movie with a packed audience, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
With a good audience, horror movies are awesome.
I had also a packed crowd, and definitely this is a movie you want to see with a primed audience because he knows how to manipulate the audience, and it's really part of the fun of this movie is this theater experience. Ruggs, what was your theater experience? Anything notable?
Anyone
About
holding
50
your hand?
Yeah.
No, I was away from people. I saw it in IMAX, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And so usually when I want to avoid any kind of stupid people, I do IMAX or Dolby because it's harder to sneak into those theaters. And it's usually easier to find a seat because they're more expensive.
Right.
And so less people buy the cheap seats better. So I got it's 50% full, and the crowd was loving it. There was people who were audibly reacting through the whole film.
Yeah.
There were some people that left, which is odd.
Oh.
People left?
Yeah.
When?
They were scared or they were not happy?
I don't know. They just left.
Okay, maybe something
never
happened.
came back.
Maybe something happened.
Yeah. Maybe they had a call or something. I don't know. But there's people that like had.
Anybody have any oh hell no's happen in your audience?
We had, I had some shit like that. Yeah, that's what happened.
It's fun. It's fun. And again, I think, I'm like Anthony, like I'm not a big horror guy. I don't really see a lot of these movies in the theaters, but this is an interesting blend of genres. So Ruggs, we're going to start with you opening thoughts, and then I'll go, and then we'll go back to Anthony. We'll go back in reverse order.
Oh, well,
no.
Yes.
Yes. So I went into this very trepidatiously because is that even a word? But Barbarian, it was kind of a mixed bag for me.
Yeah.
I could tell that Kreger was a good director, and he had a knack for comedic bits in his movies and stuff, and he was willing to go in crazy directions in Barbarian. But a lot of his stuff relies on like just go with it. Like, don't question anything. Just go with it.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and think about this too much. And this one had a lot less of that, but it still had some.
Yeah.
But this is way better than Barbarian. I like this way better than Barbarian. I think it works so much better. I feel like that it had like the Rashomon type different viewpoints, telling different stories, different points of view, and then ratcheting up the tension. And then as soon as it gets to like a big tense moment, it cuts to something else. And then you start over again. And it keeps you guessing for the most part. And the ending is really great. So I enjoyed myself. I thought it was very enjoyable. I still had some issues with it. I thought some of the things he didn't have to do that would have made it kind of a more elegant film.
Yeah.
But I think that you pay to see a movie that's going to keep you tense and on the edge of your seat. This is going to do it.
Yeah.
So I like this movie. I don't think it's perfect, but I liked it a lot. Yeah.
I also really like this movie. I had a great time. It is a crazy ride, and it is such a blend of emotions. You know, it's original, it's surprising, it's unpredictable, it's surprisingly funny too. And I love that balance. It's unnerving. The ending is completely satisfying. It reminded me of like Pulp Fiction and a little bit of Halloween. It was described as like Magnolia meets Hereditary, which also I could see that. But for the performances, I thought were really good. The directing, the camera work, this moving camera he employs, fantastic. We'll get into how the story's told in chapters, but it's a great build-up of tension and then release and cut. And then you're just like, who was it? Was it one of you guys were saying people were applauding at the end of each chapter?
No, that was online. I wasn't on mine.
But I could see that because once the chapter ended, you could hear the audience just go, oh, with like release. And I agree with you, Ruggs. It's a little bit better than Barbarian because there are less plot holes and people, for the most part, make logical choices, and it's a little more focused. But and I don't even know if it's a horror movie. It's more of like
Imran.
I mean, it's like horror last. It's like a mystery thriller, but also it works as like it's kind of like a fucking twisted bedtime story or like a fable you tell kids to fucking scare them. It works on lots of levels. I mean, there's jump scares and it's horror, but it's a bunch of things.
I think that he put those jump scares in to make it feel like more of a. If he didn't put those dream sequences with the jump scares in there, it would feel more like a mystery film or a suspense film.
There was other great horror moments that didn't have jump scares that really worked. But I mean, I was thoroughly entertained, and it was just so good to see like an auteur, one vision, one voice put out a movie that he wants. And it had me from go. And anytime, just like Strange Darling, anytime you tell a movie in chapters out of order or layering,
Strange Darling,
love that shit. And the way he slowly peels the onion and allows you to start to put the pieces together at his pace is just, it's so well done. Anthony, opening thoughts.
I fucking loved it. I fucking loved it. I don't really fuck with horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by horror movies. So from afar, I know what's somewhat trending in the community. I know what's happening. I know the stories, a lot of movies, but I don't actually watch them because I don't know all the time if I enjoy watching horror movies.
Yeah.
But so I went into this one excited because of all the hype. This movie's getting a crazy amount of hype.
Yeah.
Even before it was released. And it was supposed to be released in January of next year, and it got pushed up because of all the hype.
Whoa.
And I was gonna see this movie, but I also was a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not a big horror guy. I don't know if I like getting scared. I don't know.
Don't be scared.
I don't know about that scary shit.
It's stressful.
It's a little stressful. And I don't really, what I most don't like about horror is like, not only the scares sometimes or whatever, it's more like the gore and like the reveling in the gore. Sometimes I don't like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, this movie was a freaking thrill ride. I watched this at 9:15 on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And the movie ends at around 11:40, 11:30.
Yeah.
I was up till 1:30 in the morning. I was fucking amped.
The movie makes you feel alive.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those movies where I've had a similar feeling throughout the year with certain movies where I go in, I watch it, and I go, wow, that's why I go to a movie theater. That's why I want to watch a movie with the crowd.
Yes.
And this one was no different. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is scary, intense at times. It is fucking funny at times.
Yeah.
The mystery of the plot is really well done. I love the way he, ratchets up the tension with each of these characters, and you get them overlapping at certain points, but you don't get the full story until the end. And the amount of confidence I feel like he has throughout the movie, Zach Kreger, in terms of the way he's manipulating the viewer and the way the camera is moving. I mean, he really does in this movie, I feel like, have the audience at the palm of his hands.
Absolutely.
Because he is just manipulating you into all these different feelings throughout the movie. When you think about the plot, are there some holes? Some minor holes, but overall, I thought it was just an awesome experience. I would highly recommend going in and seeing this movie in a theater or at least with people, at least see, and then try to go in blind because it's better that way. But man, what a fucking thrill ride. I had a great time. And one of the most laugh out loud, satisfying endings I've ever seen that is also fucking brutal. But yeah, I was right when I watched the movie, I was like, I can't wait to fucking talk about this. This is the type of movie that makes you want to go and see movies in a movie.
This is the type of movie that makes you want to find someone that was seen this movie or take someone again to talk about it.
Yeah.
It is a movie. This is why, it's using the medium, the experience. It's so much fun. Now, also, the brilliance starts from the trailers because the trailers did exactly what they're supposed to do. They gave me the premise. I was hooked, and it shows you nothing. Spoils nothing in the trailer. You know how some trailers show too much?
If you look at the trailers now, you can see things, but going in blind, you don't know what's going on. You can't really pick it out what's happening.
And the fact that whole premise is told right in the open with voiceover is fantastic. I love that opening montage of the kids running set to that George Harrison song, Beware of Darkness.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good choice to not give us any background on the kids. Let's just start with the incident having happened and go from there.
Yeah. And, the town is reasonably upset and all the things are, you're going to be mad at the teacher and this one kid, Alex Lilly. And also they mention, this is another horror movie trope, the cops fucked this up. Right in the beginning, they're like, the cops bungled this or whatever.
That's like a disclaimer, so you don't think about the fact that when a murder happens and there's one kid that survives, they not only all these parents that want answers, they would know the parents of that kid and they would know what the fuck's going on.
You just think they visit the house and all later when it's all papered up.
Yeah,
like the fuck's going on in there?
They wouldn't show up at that place. Like there would be a mob at that house, or the police would have been staking out that place or checking all the Ring cameras in the neighborhood. So it's like,
well, we have Ring camera footage, and it's a big part of it.
Conveniently, that we're not on that block, but yeah, there's some stuff that he definitely he writes in, so you don't think about it. We're getting that's a disclaimer. The cops bungled it, so yes, we know that in a real situation, people would have found out what was going on.
In this movie, because I was wondering, in this kind of movie, you really we'll try to assess, add logic to things, but in this movie, I feel like you don't want to do that. It ruins the movie. It's one of the movies that kind of gets away with the logic being a little bungled.
Well, no, because you could write a better alibi. You could write a better thing than what they did, but they just chose to do it that way. They chose to be like, hey, don't think about this. So yeah, you can enjoy. I enjoyed it nonetheless. Yeah. I still enjoyed it, but I could not notice it.
How do you guys want to talk about this? Because like I said, the movie is told in chapters, point of view from each of the characters, and it's in a certain order so that it reveals more and more, and you piece it together as you go.
I mean, I think we should talk about the chapters first, not individually, but just as a whole.
Yes.
I think
brilliant storytelling structure.
Yeah, I thought that was a really clever move. I like when stories are told in chapters and you see little hints of characters that you then see a different perspective, and now you see why this makes sense.
You got to watch Strange Darling. It does it really well, too.
Strange Darling?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he said, this is, Quentin Tarantino. This is
Magnolia.
PTA. This is a lot of people who have been doing this. But what I think I like the most about it, or at least the chapters that most resonated with me were Justine.
Yeah.
and Josh Brolin's character.
Archer.
By the way, Josh Brolin's character was supposed to be played by Pedro Pascal. Think about that.
Yes.
Oh my
He
God.
would have been in everything. Originally, though, he was cast in this, and he was like, I can't be everywhere. And he had to bow out.
He had about, yeah. But I thought those two characters, I completely resonated with their chapters.
Yeah.
Because they're both very sympathetic characters. You have one character, Justine, who's clearly like everyone is going to hate her, right?
Yeah.
And you can feel for like what is she supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Especially if she had nothing to do with it. Yeah. And then you clearly understand why Josh Brolin's character is the way he is, and what a parent would feel like, and why he would do the things he's doing, and come to the conclusions he's making. So like, I thought those two, plus the kid at the end, which reveals a lot of things, were the best chapters.
Yeah.
The other chapters were all right as well. But I think overall, I thought the chapters were a really good way to tell the story, and I enjoyed pretty much all the performances of the actors in the movie.
Well, let's talk about Justine and Archer, but I just want to mention, I think James is my fucking favorite character in this whole movie. He's
the addict?
Yes, hilarious.
Because it's you.
That fucking James. But even, look, fucking James, even when he gets turned at the end, that whole scene, he keeps popping up, and then he gets tossed, and then he comes back, and then he gets tossed, and he won't stop. I was like, fucking James, that's my boy. He does not
My
give
favorite
up.
thing is when he was going to steal the movies and he saw Willow.
He's like, oh, Willow. Cool. He's great. But yes, Justine, haunted by real threats and somewhat imagined threats, she gets very paranoid, as one would. Those one scenes where the guy's knocking on her door, is somebody fucking with her? And then somebody paints witch on her car. And then you see the red paint later in Archer's truck, but they don't actually tell you who did that. Right? She resorts to drinking. She hooks up, has casual sex with Officer Paul, who, that's funny because in Magnolia, John C. Reilly plays a cop with a mustache, similar to Officer Paul here, cop with a mustache. And then just the camera work in the liquor store is so good. The following and being in front and behind, like even before crazy shit happens, you see Paul's wife kind of chasing her, just out of focus, and the camera just turns and she's out, and then she comes back in. And then she just attacks her, and it's so good. It's so well done. And yes, maybe she wanted to do the right thing, but she's maybe crossing the line by following the kid and intruding. And then they both have nightmares, right? Her nightmare is she's in the classroom and all the kids got their heads down, and Alex lifts his head and it's all spooky. It's pretty good. But then it's like a nightmare in a nightmare, and she sees orange-haired lady on the roof, jump scare.
I think they should do those. I think those dream sequences where they include Gladys.
Right. So they're setting up Gladys.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I think it ruins the surprise of Gladys.
But I think like after she's been to the house, everyone after they've interacted with the house, then Gladys starts to fuck with them.
I like the dreams because it adds another, like, what is happening here? Because it's still the mystery of is this a supernatural thing?
Yes.
Is this what is going on? So I like the dreams because it just kept me on my toes. Of okay,
what did you think of the
weird?
gun?
So Archer's
I hated
nightmare. Archer's nightmare. He follows his kid Matthew to another house, and there is a fucking AK-47 machine gun with the time 217 floating.
What do you think he was going for with that?
I have no idea.
That's something to do with like gun laws.
Is this? I mean, the movie could be a school shooting allegory.
That's what I interpreted it as. Is he is dreaming about what every parent thinks this could have been, which is a school shooting type thing.
And it has a similar effect, right? Suddenly, the kids are gone and everyone's traumatized, and it's a sudden loss in a community.
But you think it adds to the movie, or it just makes
I don't know if you
beat
needed
the dead horse?
I don't know if you needed the machine gun, but it's a dream. So,
wait, but you can't gloss over this part.
Yeah.
The part with Josh Brolin's dream is it's weird, it's spooky, as the weird gun thing.
Yeah.
But the amount of laughs when he fucking wakes up.
Yes.
And literally you see Gladys.
Yes.
And you're in your head going, what the fuck?
Yes.
And then he wakes up and he goes, what the fuck?
Dude, the most sincere, authentic, perfect. I mean, that's the appropriate response.
Yeah,
and everybody cracked up because
everyone was dying.
That is
great.
the perfect response. But I did love when he gets to Matthew and he can finally tell him, like, I always want to tell you I love you. Where are you? You know, it's kind of heartbreaking. He only says it in the dream.
Well, I love also in Josh Brolin's part of the movie when he goes to the police station and the police captain is like, you know, all you know, the investigation aside, I like when the police captain is like, okay, but these kids all left at the same time. Like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing?
What does he know? What do you think he knows?
How could this be pinned on her if they all voluntarily left?
So his part of the movie kind of turns more into like a mystery thriller, right? He's kind of like a police detective story. He's actually mapping out the paths and figuring out which way these kids were going. Why didn't the cops do that? I don't know. I don't know why they left it to him. It's sad and like traumatic that he sleeps in his son's bed and he's watching that video over and over again.
And it's probably like ruining his marriage.
Yes, because the wife is like, I'm going to work. And then she just leaves. Hilarious Justin Long cameo in the middle. He was in Barbarian too. Also in a weird part of the movie where all of a sudden it's like this Justin Long and you're like, is this the same movie in Barbarian? But he plays the father to see the video. Wait, back to Justine for a second. The end of her chapter, when she finally goes back to the house and she's like, I'm just going to wait here.
Oh, my God.
And she's drinking.
I have a comment on that.
And she passes out. And then the camera, fucking beautiful camera work, right? You're in the car. The camera.
That's one of the best scenes of the
camera,
whole thing.
Without cutting, just turns, pushes into the doorway. And every time I saw this doorway in the dark, it reminded me of like Halloween. Pushes all the way into the door, and then you just wait. And the amount of times he did this, you wait, the door just opens and it's pitch black. And then this fucking woman with something in her hand you can't see.
Oh, no, you know right away.
It's scissors. She steps out and starts walking all awkwardly, and the camera pulls back right back into the car with Justine. And
you get the view of her like sideways.
The lady is just outside, and then she disappears.
The lady walking by,
and then people giggled at that point because it was kind of funny. And then this movie makes the sound of a car door the scariest fucking jump scare you're ever going to experience.
Now, the question is, when is this happening?
What do you mean?
This
which part?
They get a lock of her hair.
Well, it has to happen before the fucking Marcus thing.
Yeah, before the Marcus.
So the witch has got her hair the whole time and doesn't do anything with it.
She's waiting for her moment, possibly. But she's like, I have.
This is weird. Because then she has to go and she could have just taken her over, but she has to go and send the principal to kill her.
Well,
okay, I think she's not trying to get everybody. I think she's trying to eliminate the threats, and she's trying to also have other people do the bidding for her.
She's trying to figure out who knows what, and
it's clear though the teacher knows obviously now at this point. They've seen the teacher's staking her out, but I just want to comment real quick on that scene because that scene is, as Rug Boy said, it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
The way that he manipulates the audience, the way you like described. Yeah. I mean, when you're sitting there waiting for someone to appear in the door and that lady creeps out the door.
Yes.
I literally I was in my seat and I go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like, that's what people were like, oh, hell no. When the door opened, people were like, oh, hell no.
When she walks by and you see her walk by the camera cuts or not cuts, but now you're panned in and you're only inside the fucking car. So you can only anticipate her coming to the car, and then you see her walk by and open the door. I'm just like, oh my God.
The framing.
This is the amount of tension I have here. I'm like bursting at the seams watching this.
It's such a quiet movie at times also. And in my head, I was like, Justine, wake the fuck up. I hope you locked the fucking doors. You didn't lock the doors. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was yelling at her. Because you didn't lock the fucking door. You think you'd lock the doors? She's passed out. She won't wake up.
And then, she cuts the lock and then it just cuts. And you're like, oh my God, the amount of tension there.
Then you go, when it goes, and then it says Archer.
Right.
So Archer's thing ends with him driving around and he notices Justine at the gas station. And he's like, well, I'm going to fucking confront her. And he confronts her. And then you get this craziest scene of Justine seeing Principal Marcus in the same formation with this all bloody, bugged out fucking black shit on his mouth. Just run at her, knock him over, start to choke her out, chase her into the thing. And then that cuts there. And you're like, what the fuck? Half of this movie, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? You're trying to piece it together. Now, In the middle, you get the Paul and James chapters, which kind of go together. And I thought they were really funny. This is a lot of the comedic parts come in here to lighten the mood a little.
Yeah, and it also just adds more context to like Paul is the cop, right?
Yeah, so yes.
You understand why Paul shows up at that bar.
Right. Why he breaks his sobriety and cheats on his wife. And that's a great scene too, when he comes home and the fucking bag is there and you're like, oh shit. He's fucked. And his wife is like,
yeah,
where
I
were you?
that.
Where were you? Plus the fact that his boss is his father-in-law, the captain, like he can't get away with shit. And so when he chases James the first time, it's kind of great. There's a lot of people getting poked with things in this movie.
There's a lot of needles.
A lot of needles, forks to the faces, pricks to the finger. It's a recurring theme. So and it's so funny. He's like, is there anything you have in your pocket? It's going to prick me. He goes, no. And right away, just fucking needle comes out. And then he just punches him in the face. And the camera's right there. And he's like, okay, you know what? I did you wrong. You did me wrong. We're even. I'm just going to let you go. Don't come back. And then his chapter ends with him seeing fucking James again. And that was also funny where he's like, what did I fucking tell you? He gets mad. James.
I also like that when he's with Justine.
Yes.
She's like, why the fuck aren't you doing it? He's like, I'm not a detective.
Yeah. He's
And
like,
you-
they've got
you
it
could just-
handled. Don't worry
You
about
just
it.
see like the police are doing nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she gives him shit about like, oh, they you know, they're working.
The police have clearly they've given up on this.
Well,
they're not pursuing
it's
it.
another horror.
But like,
horror
it just
trope.
doesn't make sense. Like 17 kids, if 17 kids went missing, it would be like the top news story in America for like months.
But
like everybody would be there.
It's a horror movie trope. Now, you know, the suburban setting is one, but the fact that the cops always fuck things up, like that's like in every horror movie, really. It's part of the,
I guess. Sure.
So he uses a lot of tropey and cliche things in here, but he kind of
I would say the argument against that, though, I do agree that the cops might have been more at this.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's plenty of unsolved mystery stories of kids or people disappearing. I mean, that's a whole genre of television is real life stories of people disappearing.
A month later, the one kid that didn't get taken, you're not swinging by his house and being like, what the fuck is with this paper? Newspaper.
They do swing by his house.
Well, they do early, and she moves everyone.
Right.
Where'd they go?
I don't know.
No one sees them?
No, I don't know. She put them in the fucking shed. What did she do with them? But there's no patrol car going, maybe we keep an eye on this kid. He's the one kid. Maybe they're going to snatch him still. That raises no suspicion.
Okay, but think about this.
Yeah.
What would the kid have done?
Well, we'll get into that because I
know what I'm saying, but think about
clearly did something. He clearly was up to something.
He's that smart kid.
You're thinking about this now knowing that it's a fucking witch.
No.
You don't know in the real world that would have been a witch.
No, I'm not talking about the kid. I'm just talking about you drive by this kid's house and it's instantly suspicious.
Right. Yeah, that's
okay,
true.
anyways, James. Love James. Hilarious. Lives in the forest. He just smoking crack, trying to pawn shit that I love that he's like an opportunist while he's on the phone, just checking the doors of the cars, trying to. So yeah, he's junkie, stoner, opportunist, thief.
The guy didn't want to buy his shit.
Yeah, he's like, no. He's like, what? Give me $5. No. Yes. He did not say yes.
No, he did not.
So of course he's gonna check this house. You know, because he sees there's newspapers there, but it looks like nobody's home. And it's fucking Alex Lilly's house. And this is after, you know, Paul lets him go and gets poked in the finger. And he's robbing the place. Of course, you know, this builds on that great jump scare when Justine goes and peeks through the paper and just sees
him sitting there.
Fucking sitting there, which is totally creepy. So he's in there and you're like, what the fuck? And he's robbing the place, making a lot of noise. And then the parents are just sitting there. That's a great fucking scene because you're like, oh shit. And then he just continues robbing the place. Fucking hilarious. He's like, let me get these DVDs. He continues to rob them when they do eventually. This is, you know, he does a lot of things in Halloween in the background where it's out of focus and then fucking
see them moving.
Then they just stand up. You're like, oh shit, get the fuck out of there. So he inadvertently stumbles into the basement and finds, and also another shocking fucking scene. These kids are just fucking standing in the basement. He's found them in the basement.
I love Ruggs laughing in the back.
Oh my god,
because he's whispering.
Dude, that was crazy. You're like, what the fuck?
We've got prime Imran narrating the movie.
So good.
Yeah, we do.
But then I also love when he like sees the missing the missing kids poster and he gets all the ideas. And he's like,
that's funny too.
And he's on the phone. He's like, so how do I get this money exactly? How's this going to work?
He's seeing dollars.
Do I have to come to the police station?
He's like, I'm phobic. He's like, I really don't like do that. I'm phobic. And then that's when Paul sees him again, chases him into the forest. He sees creepy orange lady, hides in his tent. And then Paul finds him and gets stabbed in the face with more needles. A lot of poking of the needles.
The amount of shrieking when that happened.
Yes. Everyone's like, oh, that's great. And then he's like, I know where the kids are. And he takes him to the house. And this is another hilarious moment where it's daytime and he goes in and you can't hear it. You just see it from inside the car. And you're like, don't fucking go in there, bro. And it's dark and he walks in. And then James is like, what the fuck? And then it cuts to nighttime. And he's like, what the fuck, bro? Let me out of here. And then he gets dragged back in. Yeah, he's handcuffed. He has just been sitting there for hours. And then he fucking comes out. Paul drags him back in. Okay, let's talk about this Marcus.
Take a deep breath, Imran. Are you good? Can you narrate one more part for us?
Let's talk about Marcus chapter.
We didn't see the movie, by the way. So, just narrate this
Marcus chapter. What did you like? Let's go there. Anthony.
Well, look, this is the part where you get the reveal.
You get a lot more. Yes.
This is when you find out that Gladys is a witch.
Yeah.
And she possesses Marcus using something of his that she got from the office. So she visits Marcus at school and then takes something from his office.
Creepy.
And you learn that if she has something of yours that you've touched, she can take control of you. And she takes control of Marcus and has him vomit black stuff onto it. And beat the shit out of his boyfriend.
Beat the shit, smash his skull
with his head. Yes,
I mean she's so creepy when she shows up. Amy Madigan.
When she first shows up. Just pause right there. When she first shows up, what vibe are you getting? Because I feel like I know what they're going for, but I want to hear from you. When you first see her, what do you think?
So when you saw just behind the glass the kind of the shadow of the orange hair, people were already going, "Oh fuck no." And she sits down and she looks like a clown and it's just super unnerving and creepy and you don't know what to make of it. And when she's like, oh, they have a touch of the consumption. I was like, what the fuck is this? Who is this fucking lady?
She's got Pennywise vibes to me.
A little bit with all that clown makeup. I don't know why she needed that, but.
Well, Zach Krager, I listened to his interview on The Ringer and he said something along the line. I don't know the exact quote, but he said he wanted someone that could give off like old lady,
right,
creepy vibes, but also someone that had this like underlying evil that they could turn on at any moment.
She does it so perfectly because half the time you're like, oh, maybe she's just some eccentric old broad. And then the other half of the time you're like, there's, and then she'll turn and you're like, oh, this fucking lady's evil.
But the lady, like, what's crazy about the way she looks is she does look crazy.
Yeah.
Right. But Rug Boys can probably attest this, and Imran probably from his 90s. But you go onto a train in New York, and there's at least one person that looks like that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of old ladies who are just dressing crazy anyways, just cause.
And you're like, there's something going on with that person.
I think I have an aunt that dresses worse than that.
Orange hair is not.
But there's always one person that you see out in public that looks like that, and you're like, fuck, there's something going on there.
And then the way he manipulates your emotions at their house, at Marcus's house. Because they're just like sitting down to eat hot dogs. They're very cute. You see them on the phone with Justine. They're a cute couple. They're eating hot dogs. And then she shows up and Marcus doesn't want her in. And his husband's like, we'll get you water. And then when she's like, can I have some water in a bowl? Like, you're like, what the fuck? And you're laughing. And then immediately the fucking tone changes when she snaps the branch. And he fucking kills.
Well, she first bloodies herself.
Yeah, she cuts her hand, and he's freaking out. They're like, "What are you doing? Get the fuck out!" I would not have let this lady in my house just based on looks. Jesus Christ! And poor Terry had nothing to do with this, and just gets his head fucking demolished.
I just love the whole shopping scene where
that was great.
He's on the phone and he's just holding up 2 cereals.
It's like Fruity Pebbles. The cookie's like that one.
I mean, the boyfriend gets his head. I mean, it's literally his face is so caved in. It's unbelievable.
And the sounds, and then I love how you do to make the spell. You wrap it and snap it, and then throw it in the water to release the spell. And then she sets him off to Justine, and that whole part. Like, I don't know how Benedict Wong made his eyes all buggy like that, but he looked fucking demented. And that chase in the convenience store was wild. Where Archer tackles
That's
him.
definitely makeup over his eyes. They probably those are things.
Oh my God, it was just
an
so
application.
creepy.
I mean, he looks like he's on a million amphetamines.
Just like a Terminator, right? Single-minded. This is the weapons. This is the title of the movie. Weaponized people. But he eventually just gets hit by a car chasing after Steve.
Okay. So let's pause there before we get into the kids part.
Yes.
So when it's revealed that this lady is essentially a witch, which is in this scene where
she's
you like
feeding off the energy, I guess.
Right. Where she, and you, well, you don't get that yet.
No, you don't. That's
but you
right.
do get that she's a witch, right? And controlling this. Were you like, fuck, that's what I guessed? Were you happy with that? Were you satisfied? Like, what did you think at that point?
It seemed to work for me because it was very like voodoo, black magic kind of spell that wasn't like crazy out there. Outlandish. It was just slightly supernatural, but it starts putting the pieces together because of the way he's running also. That Archer later goes, I've seen somebody run like that. So I thought it was just enough to not, just enough information to make you go, what the fuck is going on?
As soon as I saw that she had the thing from his office, I knew that's how she got the kids.
Okay.
You figured it out.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, she needs something of theirs. She puts it on the twig, and then
that's
boom.
how she called them to the house.
And I was like waiting. I was waiting for her. Like, how is she gonna get all that? Oh, I'm like, oh, the kid's there.
Yeah,
maybe the kid did it.
Yeah,
like, how does she make the kid do it? How come the kid doesn't tell the police?
Well,
and then the next scene explains that.
Yes, and I thought about that too. I was like, kid, just run. But I also like at the end of the scene that Archer and Justine have kind of reconciled. He hated her, but he clearly realizes there's something going on. She's not guilty, and he saved her, and she thanks him. And
you also get a shot of fucking Marcus's head just been fucking his brain matter spread all over the place because he got run over with a car.
His head was gone. But he shows her the map, and she's like, oh, they went to Alex's house. It's right over here.
Right.
And then you get to the Alex
Like,
chapter.
he wouldn't know that was his house. Like, it's the one kid that survived. You wouldn't know that guy.
I don't know if he knew. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know if he knew where Alex lived. But let me just say, Carrie Christopher playing Alex Lilly. This, first of all, great performance by this kid. The kid is not annoying. He's not unnecessarily creepy. And he's fucking smart. He's not an idiot. And
this whole sorry to interrupt and run. This whole scene I thought was one of the this chapter. Obviously it reveals a lot more, right?
Yes,
You get all the reveals, which we'll get into, but I think it does a great job of establishing that this kid is strong and smart, but also like it establishes, okay, like this fucking lady is so fucking evil.
Yeah.
Because this kid is basically stuck in a prison in his own house because of this lady.
Yes.
I'll narrate this one, Imran, real quick.
What happens?
Gladys, we learn, is his great aunt. He's living a normal family life. He gets made fun of at school, but he's similarly has some pretty cool parents that pick him up every day. Gladys gets inserted in the picture because she's dying, so she's now going to live with them. He's already suspicious to start.
Nobody knows her.
And then one time you just right away, Gladys's vibe, and he gets into her room and you see her. She's all fucking wrinkly and dead on the fucking thing. Right, and you're just like, oh, fuck. And then you know, given like what's happened, that he comes home one day and the parents are catatonic. Yeah. And she's feeding off their life force because now she's back. Yeah. And she basically controls him into keeping the secret by having his fucking parents stab themselves in the face with a fork.
Fucking Christ. This is
says,
why
not only will I kill them, I'll have them fucking eat each other.
This is why he doesn't go to the police.
But I mean, that's such a good way of being like, fuck this lady.
I know.
Like, she's not only just doing this to preserve, she's like fucking evil.
Yeah.
She's manipulating this kid, have him go to the fucking store. I will agree with you, Ruggs, though. Wouldn't anyone be like, well, what the hell does this kid keep coming to the fucking store by himself?
Buying soup. He's just buying soup.
Didn't he have parents? What's going on? Why does he keep going to the store? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Does he have a debit card?
I mean, any school that you send your kid to they're gonna know your parents. They're gonna know. They will have met with you a bunch of times.
But she brought his father there and told him
he had a stroke.
He had a stroke and he can't really talk and he's here. So, and all, because if you cut back to the the beginning when you see the principal talking to Alex, you see in the one side red hair, and the other side you see the dad. Like she was there.
Right.
She did bring the dad, but when,
no, I know that. But
when
the mother died. What happened to the mother?
No, I don't know. But the minute he starts saying CPS, he's going to call the authorities. She's like, I can't have this shit. I got to take care of this shit. She has a weird plant. Also, I think very well set up. That
the plant
is this kind of power and weird voodoo fucking witch magic. Him feeding the kids soup, and then
this is the reveal, right?
Yeah,
just to recap real quick, and then we'll get to the end and all the other stuff. The kids have been captured because Gladys realizes that the parents it's not enough.
Yeah,
and she goes to him, hey, I need more.
Yeah,
let me you collect all the stuff from the kids. Like get something from the kids. And the only reason he does it is she promises to leave the house if
I will get better and I will go. And I was like, that's perfectly. And he's so smart at what he actually grabs.
Right. The name tags.
Real quick, handmade name tags. Boink, 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 boink. Done. Wow. And then you even see her ring the bell, do the thing. The kids run in the next night at 2:17.
And he sees her do it.
Yeah. Yes.
So he can learn how to do it himself.
Yeah.
And then he's got to feed them soup and the parents soup. So I did read.
Where does he getting the money? These parents aren't going to work.
No, doesn't their job call and be like, "Where are you?" Did Phyllis handle all of that? So I read a lot. A lot of things in this movie are from Zach Kreger's life. There's one major event that caused him to write this, but this bit he said with his parents is he had, I believe, an alcoholic parent, and it was kind of like a kid coming home to an alcoholic parent that's kind of a zombie that needs to be taken care of.
No, I mean that you'll be, there's plenty of stories of kids growing at a very young age having to grow up.
And you don't know that at school they act like everything's normal. You have no idea what's going on at home. And the whole movie, in fact, is because Zach Kreger had a buddy named Trevor Moore who he wrote with. And Trevor Moore in 2021 had a freak accident, fell off a balcony in his house and died suddenly. And he wanted to, a reaction to that was starting to write this movie.
I can't take it anymore. We got to talk about this fucking ending.
The ending,
because the ending is so epic.
Yeah,
something I don't think you guys have seen more movies than me. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this fucking ending.
The ending reminded me of the end of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No,
a little bit,
but no, not the same.
Because that movie is like they do nothing. They just hang out, and then there's this violent, a glorious explosion of violence. The ending had the whole audience fucking howling, laughing. So there's salt traps. It starts with Justine and Archer getting in the room, and then Paul and James attack them, and they got to fight them off, and she got to shoot him in the head. But Alex purposely, on purpose, steps on the salt trap.
I don't know if I think he just wants to get to his parents.
Because she told him, don't cross the salt.
No, he's trying to get to the tree.
Right.
Yeah.
So he steps and they run after him and then they chase him. And you have scenes like from Shining where she's breaking the door, sticking her head through the door. But this kid is so smart. He grabs the tree, he grabs her wig and does the fucking spell. And once he snaps the twigs, it's so great because you just hear it's quiet and then you just hear a rumble.
Well, don't they cut to her and she just goes, "Oh shit."
Yeah, she goes, "Oh no." Like she felt it happen, and you hear a rumble, and then all the kids chasing her through the house is busting through the windows, through the doors.
The cut scenes of the like families just hanging out, and then the rumbling of the kids.
That guy cutting the grass, and it's just in the background, and you see him running.
My audience, I was laughing hysterically at this. It was one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen.
It was definitely oh shit moment.
Because you're rooting for them to get this fucking woman now.
The kids are like fucking, I mean, it's like fucking Walking Dead. The zombies are just, it's like they're loose and they're so on track. And when they're jumping through the windows and fucking climbing the fucking fences,
breaking down.
These kids are monsters.
And then amazing camera work where they follow the one kid on the shoulder. Like this on the shoulder camera, the whole time you feel like you're just there with them. But they follow the one kid that eventually catches up to her and tackles her. And you're laughing, and then it's like horrifying. And I watched it all. I watched
them like hyenas on her.
They just rip her fucking jaw apart and her legs. and she's screaming, and you're just fucking. It's so satisfying. You are howling.
It's
and
gory
shocked.
as fuck.
Yes,
but it's one of the most satisfying deaths to a villain that you'll see because of the fact of what you've seen her do.
Amazing. Yeah,
and the fact that it's fucking the kids.
It's the kids.
Most of these, I felt like the movie was going to end like on a sour note where the kids are all gone forever.
Right.
So to see the kids and then get the pleasure of seeing the kids fucking destroy their captor is so good.
It's so good, and I don't think it ends on a happy note. This is a very interesting ending because once that happens, Archer goes out. He follows the path of destruction, which is also kind of funny. He finds Matthew standing there. The body just grabs him and leaves. And you hear the same kid voiceover telling you Alex's parents had to be sent somewhere else so someone could feed soup to them. And then she goes, some of the kids started talking again a year later. Now, what I find interesting is Archer was under the spell for the least amount of time. He seems fine.
Right.
Everybody else, yes, everybody else who was under the spell for a month, they are still catatonic.
Well, the parents were under the spell for the longest, so I don't know that it's like the happiest of endings, but the part where she says some of the kids start speaking gives you hope that everyone will get out of it eventually.
But it's similar to like if there was a school shooting, you got this trauma stays with you, and you are changed, and you're never. I don't think you're ever going to be the same again.
Right.
At the end of this,
yeah.
That fucking ending. I mean.
So good.
Do you think it ended too abruptly?
I thought it was kind of abrupt.
You thought it did?
I thought it was, but it really, that's all. I mean, I wanted to know what happened. I think you can make an
argument for it. I didn't really think, I think that it did enough.
I agree with the Rugs.
But I think that you can make the argument that it could have used a little bit of a better epilogue. But
so there's an argument that the epilogue could have been longer. There's also an argument I heard online that you could have ended it right when Archer finds the kids all standing around the fucked up body.
Oh, you could end it.
And you just leave it there.
And you don't even know if he finds his kid.
No, he does.
Oh, he does. But
it's just like, it's it.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, he just takes him and leaves. He's like, I'm get the fuck out of here.
His kid's the asshole. That's another thing.
Oh, yeah.
His kid is
an asshole. One thing I got to point out that we didn't cover, the amount of time, the time where I was like grabbing at the seat and like, oh my God, was when she pulls out the fucking potato peeler and starts peeling his
God,
skin.
she peeled his face. That was amazing.
God.
That was pretty crazy.
Oh my God.
And then she like shoots him in the neck and it does nothing. And she's got to fucking blow him. But yeah, the peeler to the face.
Oh,
I was like, I've always wondered what that would look like. Now I know. That's what it would look like. So what? Here's my couple questions. What is this movie about? Does it actually need to be about anything?
I can tell you what Zach Kreger says, but go ahead, Ruggs, if you want to start first.
I mean, there's obvious things that people have said that I wasn't sitting there thinking about gun violence until I saw the AK with 217 on there. And I'm like, well, that's a little bit
on the nose.
Let me discover that on my own. Yeah. Don't fucking throw that in my face. But obviously, so you start thinking about, gun violence against, but anytime anything happens to kids, little kids, you think about school shootings because that's like the biggest fear of kids going to school.
It is preying on that fear.
There's an allegory for that. There's an allegory for
witch hunts.
It's kind of being controlled.
Yeah.
People blaming other people and when they don't know, when they don't have the answers, Correct. They find a scapegoat. Yeah. Like Salem witch trials and all that stuff.
Yes, it's a literal witch hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think those all apply. I think the way small towns react to things and how things fester when they go unsolved.
Yeah.
It's also part of that. Everything you said is true. I did, like I said, I listened to Zach Kreger on The Ringer, on The Big Picture, and they asked him that question because there's this whole thing now in horror. I went off the deep end, by the way. On horror. In the last 10 to 15 years, there's this talk about elevated horror,
right?
About horror movies that are of deeper meaning and more psychological. And true horror fans apparently are like, "Fuck that elevated horror thing." Yeah. There's always been themes around horror. It's just people now are putting on their hoity-toity.
They spoon-feed it more.
No, it's not that they spoon-feed it. It's just people are now noticing it and be like, oh, this is now the elevated horror era.
This means this, yeah.
Right, but it's horror has always kind of been an allegory for things that are happening in real life, just like any other movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, Zach Kreger was asked the question of what are the themes, and he said in that podcast that he wrote this movie as a movie he would like to see and just as an experience. He didn't have any sort of themes. He's like, you can put any themes you want on
that
it.
was not
the intent of the movie.
No,
it was just to create a crazy experience.
I heard a couple of different interviews where he's like, and here's another great question. And he says this in another interview is I came up with this question, the premise, and he just started writing the chapters to see where it went. Right. And then he was like, will I have a good answer? So that's my question. He comes up with a great question. Does he provide a satisfying answer?
It's good enough.
I think it's good. I think it's satisfying.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it works.
I haven't seen a movie with a witch in a really long time. So when it's revealed it's a witch, which they tease because Julia Garner's character also has witch written on her car.
Right.
I went, oh fuck. Like the old monster movie, like old horror, like we've seen Sinners with vampires and now we're seeing something with witches. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
And I kind of like he shows you explicitly how and what happened, but you don't really know why. And it's kind of left up to you.
Right.
You know, and that's okay. I don't think.
You also get like a lot of the more modern horror movies deal with the occult and shit.
Right.
But to get an old school fucking witch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, nice. Like, that's no one makes movies with fucking witches.
The other thing I noticed is the kids were studying parasites. There's a lot of things about parasites in the background. And then the Marcus and his husband, they were watching this show about cordyceps and fungus. And cordyceps is the thing in The Last of Us. And it's the same thing. You get infected and you're just this mindless zombie killing machine. I was like, that's interesting. But I think he just loves video games. I think he was just putting all of his inspirations and influences together.
There's definitely that whole like parasite.
Oh yeah,
and this mindless zombie control.
Gladys
thing.
is a parasite essentially. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there's mind control. So a couple of the tropes are like evil in the suburbs, creepy children, mind control, black magic, cops are idiots. You know.
Well, here's a question for you guys because it's a horror movie, and horror movies don't always have to be this, but this one's clearly trying to do this. Did you find it scary?
I found it tense. I never was scared.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the jump scares, which are like startling, not fear inducing.
It was more suspenseful and tense than anything. That's why I'm like, it's like a certain type of horror movie, but it's a blend. It's a thriller.
I think the scariest scene is when she's in the car.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that
scene is scary
because you don't know what's going to happen yet.
Right.
And
I think that kind of not knowing is what makes it scary. I mean, also the guy killing his boyfriend is super fucked up.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
But I mean, the car scene is a lot like the Halloween scene where Mike Myers just sits up in the background.
Yeah, it's very similar.
There were so many Halloween things that reminded me of Halloween, but it works. It's like it was focused, not over explained, but gave you enough so you feel satisfied.
I'll interject real quick and say I don't know that there wasn't a point in the movie where I audibly said anything. And there were people in the audience, especially the people next to me, that would say like scream and then laugh. And I was laughing at them screaming because I was like, it's tense for sure, but I never was like jolted out of my seat. So in that sense, I wasn't really ever scared except that scene that Ruggs Boy talks about, because the way he manipulates the camera and the way she fucking walks out with the goddamn scissors and the lady's sleeping.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared, but I like I said earlier, I just went, oh, fuck. Man,
I mean, watching the audience in this movie is like part of the fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, like you said, he knows perfectly how to manipulate the audience. And this is exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to manipulate your feelings, make you feel tense, make you laugh, have a good time, be satisfied at the ending. And I think he succeeds on everything.
Okay, that brings up a good point. Were you surprised did you find this funny? And if you did find it funny, were you surprised at how funny it was?
I was surprised at how funny it was. I did not expect
I haven't seen Barbarian, so I didn't know.
Barbarian is a little fun. I don't remember it
when
being
he starts
funny.
measuring the house.
When Justin Long shows up, it's funny. Yeah.
Come on.
But this was, and I should have seen it coming because I know he has a comedy background, but I did not think it would be that funny, but it really works. It balances it out because, again, like I said, he has you laughing and then just being fucking shocked in the next moment.
But he's very good at creating that kind of tension. Yeah. Like, is somebody behind that door?
Yes.
What's happening off camera? I can't see what's going on. He's very good at that.
And there was times
he's
where,
a talented director.
There's times where there was nothing there, right? He just made you think there was something there.
Well, I think he says it, or someone else. I might have heard someone else say it, but while comedy and horror are two different genres, essentially it's all about timing with either, right?
Yes, and they're very similar.
You got to figure out when to garner, when is the perfect time to garner that reaction out of somebody.
But I have to say, I don't know, he's very good at creating that kind of reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think he does this in both movies. He does this in Barbarian and this movie. As soon as you see behind the curtain, it stops being as scary.
Well, I mean, eventually you got to show.
As soon as you see what's in the basement in Barbarian, it loses all of its power. And then it just becomes like, holy shit, no, like, what the fuck's going on now?
Yeah.
And then the same thing with this one. When you find out that she's the witch, you're not scared anymore. Well, you're kind of just like want to know how it's going to unfold at this point.
I think I do agree it's not as scary, but I did feel, and I haven't seen Barbarian, but I did feel having the kid in there makes it more like, fuck, I don't want that kid to die.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Like you still want to see how it's going to shake out.
Yeah. Right? Oh, definitely.
Because there's still that suspense, and you still want the kids to be saved, and you're fearing for the kids. You got that tension,
right?
But as far as being afraid,
no, not
like because the mystery's gone.
Especially once you see what she can do with the power, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
I think he does a good job at waiting as long as he can to start showing you behind the curtain. Because that's the problem is you have to show it. It's just how do you do it so that you could still keep the audience.
He does it by not telling it as a linear story.
Right.
Like giving you pieces of the puzzle that overlap, but not completely overlap until you see every piece of the puzzle.
So Barbarian also has a similar premise, a question, which is just, what if you showed up at an Airbnb and it's double booked and someone's there? What do you do? But that movie had me yelling at the movie because of the choices people were making. She finds a door that's a creepy. And first of all, you show up to this house. There's already somebody booked there. You get another fucking Airbnb. Second of all, that's it. Movie's over. Second of all, you find this room in this creepy downstairs. No, don't go further in. What the fuck are you doing? Get another fucking Airbnb. What are you doing? This movie had less of that. This movie, people made logical decisions for the most part.
But that's the thing. You could tell that he was talented even in Barbarian.
Yes.
But he just made he does this thing where he wants you to go along with his cockamamie idea here.
Right.
And not question it. And like that, I felt insulted by that while I was watching. Like, come on, I'm too smart for this shit. And I think in this movie, he reins it in a lot and he's thought about it a lot more. I think the next movie, if he could just pat some things down, I think he's got it. I
got two comments based on the internet. Yeah. One, Reddit or all the cinephiles, Barbarian is more polarizing. This movie is very much less polarized. Yeah. There's pretty much universal acclaim for this. Yeah. But the sentiment on Barbarian is pretty similar to what you guys are saying. Yeah. Ruggs, you'll appreciate this. So the next movie he's going to do, Ron, do you know about this?
I know about a couple of next projects.
But the next one he's lined up to do, and he says it's not going to be like any of these two movies, is he's going to do the Resident Evil reboot.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So he is now working
he said he's
with
not going to do, he's not going to, sorry, real quick, Ron, he's not going to do this like different perspective storyline. He said he's doing a linear story for this one.
So his philosophy is very interesting. He's not going to do Leon or one of the main characters. That's been done. He's just going to have another character in this world, right? And the fact that he's dealing with an IP is interesting. And he said in the interview I watched, it's just simply because he loves the fucking Resident Evil games. Right. It's not like I want to be a big
and he doesn't view it. He said he doesn't view it as doing an IP. He's just doing a story within this universe.
Right. So the other things he has on his plate, he said he's doing a original sci-fi movie. He said he has an idea for a Weapons sequel. And this one is the most interesting. Similar to Resident Evil, he has a script called Henchman that takes place in the DC universe, but it's not going to feature. It will have like Joker and Harley Quinn, but not as the main characters. It's going to be just a henchman who's in the gang, and it'll be his original story. That he pitched it as it's an original story in the DC universe, doesn't have any of the heroes. But I kind of like that idea for him too. Like, this is a great, like, auteur voice, like when with Jordan Peele and Ari Aster. Like, he's one
I
to
think
watch.
those are all good ideas. I think what's going to happen is that Resident Evil thing.
Yeah.
And I'm very intrigued to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
From this guy.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ruggs?
I mean,
Resident Evil, Zach
it should be right up his alley, but I think that's been done to death almost.
Well, that's
There's
why
been 10 Resident Evil movies.
and I'm sure he knows this, but that's why I think he's like, I'm going to do something different.
Who's doing the Resident Evil? I forget that those were.
It was like Mila Jovovich's husband.
That's right. That's why it was Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh,
Yes.
Paul W.S. I think I've
Are
seen
any of those any good?
I've seen one, and I don't know.
They're all he did the same. He did the movie with Mila Jovovich and what's his name, the guy who's playing the Kurgan.
Batista. Oh, he did that
Batista.
one. That shitty movie.
And that movie was terrible. But yeah, those movies were like, I would say
There's
they're
7
like
of
D
them.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he can elevate that material a little bit more.
I mean,
He
and I
says he
also
loves it.
I agree. He doesn't like the term.
Anybody could elevate that.
He doesn't like the term elevated horror, and I kind of agree with him. It's like it's a different genre. It's a
Let
new
me just
genre.
go out on this. Let me make this little diatribe before we rate the movie.
Yeah.
And so I've had this happen over and over again where people that I know that really love movies, they tend to like horror movies a lot because it's the cheapest way to get in to a franchise or cheapest way to get into something where it has a built-in fan base. Like sci-fi costs too much, but horror, all you need is some buckets of blood.
Yep.
And you can make a movie. So directors that are trying to cut their teeth and do something inexpensive but shows their talent are going to do horror movies first. So that's where a lot of the best directors start, is in these horror films, because they're low budget and it could show that because a good director has to create tension, has to use the camera, has to kind of create an atmosphere. A regular drama doesn't really have to do that. A regular comedy doesn't have to do that, but it's a special talent to be able to create this kind of like this feeling, elicit
This
feelings from people.
Yeah.
So you watching horror movies, there's a lot of directors that are trying to show off, that are doing these movies, and that's why we have this elevated horror like tag now. But this has always been the case.
Yeah.
It's just that they're a little bit more like with the digital age and being able to edit better and having more knowledge and more just the whole film industry is everything's kind of like demystified. People can learn from watching YouTube videos how to edit, how to shoot, what camera to use, all that stuff. So it's like information's out there. And so now directors are directing better movies and they're not as bad. So that's why we have this elevated horror now.
It's the only genre that's critic proof, that always is profitable, and literally you can still be super creative and kind of do whatever you want and you get a pass because it's a horror movie. And we have a lot of listeners who are into horror, and movies like this, I get it now. I start to get it. Movies like this and Hereditary and Heretic and these kind of other elevated quote unquote horror. I get, and it is the only genre where you could have
$2 million and make a movie that makes 10 million.
Horror is the most bankable genre in Hollywood, and it's always been that way.
That's why there's like 23 horror movies coming out this year. But
the directors do get more creative control. Like they get, and you get to show off things like camera work and all that type of stuff.
You can't really do that in a lot of the other.
If you watch
genres.
a Sam Raimi movie and then you watch his Sam Raimi Marvel stuff, it's you got 1 or 2 scenes that are Sam Raimi.
He started in horror as well.
Horror is also one of the only genres where you don't need to rely on IP to make money.
Yes,
James Gunn,
that's
same thing.
Where
horror.
you can build, he could build a weapons franchise or whatever. Any of these guys can build their own IP in the horror, which like the Terrifier did it. Those are crazy low budget movies, but super popular.
I mean, you think about all the directors. A lot of them are, these young guys that are starting
Carpenter.
on horror or coming over from Carpenter. I mean, I'm thinking about like your Jordan Peele, your Ari Asters.
Osgood Perkins is another one.
Yeah, I mean, the horror. Horror is somewhat of a niche audience, but it produces a lot of great talent within Hollywood.
Kreger also produced Companion, which has kind of a similar kind of thing, maybe. It's another like.
I mean, you even think about like fucking James Cameron started out in Piranha and Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Piranha. All right, Anthony, give me a score. I think I know what it's going to be, but let me hear it.
Oh man, I will say right now, this movie, while I don't think it's a better film in terms of like the themes and the way it bends genres, this was my favorite movie of the year.
Over Sinners?
It beats Sinners for me.
Shit.
I love this even more than Sinners.
Wow.
And I like Sinners a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other movies I really like, but I really want to give this a 10 out of 10. I have it 5 stars on my letterbox, but I don't think I can get it to 10. I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. The only reason I don't have it at 10 is some of the plot points that we mentioned.
Yeah.
But it is such a great experience to watch in the movie theater. And at the end of the day, movies are supposed to make you feel things. Yeah. And while it might not have like all the themes, although you can mine some themes if you want, the amount of emotion that I felt through that movie, whether it was tense or like inquisitive and trying to figure out the mystery, or it's sometimes grossed out by the gore, or also just the amount of laughs and then the satisfaction I have at the end when the kids are fucking barreling through houses chasing this old fucking witch. Oh my God. What an experience. Yeah. I had a great time. 9.5 out of 10. My favorite movie of the year.
Wow. Rugs.
I feel like this is a really strong film. It has some stuff that obviously is a head scratcher, a lot of tropes where you have to go along with it. It could have used some, it didn't need the AK, didn't need some of the dream sequences or jump scares, but it is very effective and it is a great time at the theater. 8.5 from me. You should check it out if you can.
Yeah, this is a reason to go to the movie theaters. This is a full use of the experience of movies. Very tense, crazy ride, surprisingly funny. Zach Cregger, the second outing, you can see him get better and tighten things up. I'm very excited to see what he makes moving forward. I'm going to give it a 9. It's a 9 for me. And definitely just highly recommend go see this, even though we spoiled it. Go see it anyways, because you want to see it with people. But yeah,
definitely a theater experience. Definitely should check it out.